What up, YouTube? Big Lou at Big Louie's Coach Review back again with another review, and today we're here to do a double whammy. Today we're going to do a mod review, and we're going to do a juice review. The juice review that we're going to be doing is apple cider donut. Okay, now apple cider donut, it's a pretty good fucking donut, apple flavor, #1. So let's start off with the juice review, okay? Apple cider donut, you can pick them up at Sweet Clouds. Instead of an S, there's a Z. So Sweet Clouds Vapor. At Sweet Clouds Vapor with a Z instead of an S, okay? Check them out on Instagram if you don't have an Instagram. I'm sure you can find it in local brick and mortar shops. It's an East Coast juice. This came out in the East Coast. And it's an apple cider donut. When I seen this shit, I was like, what the fuck? And I seen it in a 60 mil. But I got the 30 mil. You know, only because, you know, you never know what you're going to buy today. So they had this over at 2 Vaped X. And they threw a cloud comp like some time ago. And I went there, and they're out in Jersey City, 2 Vaped X. And this was their new location. Okay. So I went there, and I seen Uncle Ed. Right? I seen Uncle Ed over there. So I was hanging out with Uncle Ed and bullshitting with him. I was actually going to meet up with JTG. He was actually on his way there, but in the middle of the fucking cloud comp, my tooth cracked. I was like, fuck. And I don't know if you guys ever had a bad tooth, but my fucking tooth cracked, and that pain shot from my jaw to my ear, from my ear to my brain. I felt like I was going to die that day. Worst fucking pain in creation, right? So I'm there, I was hanging out, bullshitting with people, a lot of good crowd, a lot of good people at this event and everything, just hanging out. Didn't get a chance to hang out with JTG from Convicted Vapes. But next time around, me and JTG will hang out and shoot the shit, you know, whenever we can. Whatever next event is coming. Maybe at Foxwoods. Maybe I'll see him at the Foxwoods convention and go from there. You know, that would be dope. So, apple cider donut, you know. First off, smell test. Let's give it a little smell test, right? You get apple and donut. I mean, that's all you really smell is apple and donut, right? If you nuck it, sweet. It's pretty sweet. You get that rich fried donut taste, and you definitely get an apple taste. Now, when you're tasting it, you taste the apple. When you're vaping it, it's a whole different ball game, right? So, I'm gonna go ahead and drip my Cloud Champ. I've got a crispy cap on my Cloud Champ. And I got that crispy cap from a guy by the name of Brett Cotone. And he's sponsored by Crispy Cap. And I was bitching one day because I didn't have any caps to go on my fucking Cloud Champ. Because the cap or drip tip that they give you from fucking vapors sucks. I never liked it. But I love the RDA. I just hate the fucking drip tip they give you. So let's see. Let's go ahead and vape this. Now this is the sick thing. Apple cider donut doesn't taste like an apple pie, doesn't taste like an apple fruit, doesn't taste like an apple tart, doesn't taste like an apple fritter, doesn't taste like fucking green apples or red apples. What it tastes like, it tastes exactly like that Martinelli's apple cider champagne shit that alcoholics usually drink around fucking New Year's. So instead of opening champagne bottles, they open that sparkling apple cider champagne shit, non-alcoholic stuff. It tastes like that kind of apple. It legitimately tastes like apple cider. The donut you get, and it's not that strong, the donut flavor. It's there, you taste it, but it's not overpowering and dominant, you know. It's there, though. It's good tasting. It's a great vape. You'll never get tired of it. You will vape it all day. You will finish the fucking bottle. Hands down. It's a great, great e-liquid. Real good liquid. It's a little thick. It may be an 80-20. I'm guessing it's an 80-20. I got in 3 milligram nicotine, and it's such a different apple donut. It's an apple donut, an apple cider donut, but you taste apple cider and donut. It tastes good. If you like apple cider, you'll love this fucking liquid. If you don't like apples and you don't like apple cider, you may not like this liquid. I don't know what to tell you, okay? Taste is not subjective, by the way. Let's wipe that out from fucking vaping completely. I can't stand when people say taste is subjective. I've even caught myself saying it, and I don't even like saying taste is subjective. Why don't we just say everybody's tastes are different? How about that? That makes the best sense at all. Just say everybody's different. Everybody's taste buds are different. If you and I share similar taste buds, if I like something and you liked it, maybe you'll like this. If you don't like apples, don't buy this. If you don't like donut e-liquids, don't buy this. It's that simple. But if you like apple cider and donuts, this is right up your fucking alley. This shit is good. Now, moving forward to this mod review. This is the GI mod straight out of the Philippines, okay? And it's called the Aventador. It's made by GI Mods from the Philippines, but it's called the Aventador. Now, the Aventador is a heavy motherfucker. Solid fucking brass. It's a dual 18650 in parallel. And it's got two options of firing it. From the top or from the side. That's it. Copper internals, copper negative battery doors that unscrew by hand, or if you have a flathead screwdriver, it has two little markings inside the doors themselves where you stick a screwdriver in there and you can basically, unscrew it, which is great, So you're going to get the right size that fits in the little slot and sit there and unscrew it. And it's perfect. Because me, I got sausage fingers, and when I stick my fucking fingers in these holes, I can't unscrew shit, okay? Now, it comes with a little battery door on the front of the device. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. We're going to go up close and we're going to check out the internals. Because there's not a whole lot to see in this thing. Two batteries slide up in two CNC'd fucking tubes. And you got copper fucking negatives on the bottom. And you have copper internals on the inside. So let's check out the copper internals. So if we hit the top button to fire it. So let's try and fire it. Top button. You can see and hear it. Makes contact with the negative portion of the 510. This bar right here is part of the negative portion of the 510, which this bar comes straight down over here and makes contact. So that's if you hit the top button, it'll make contact. Now if you hit the side button, it'll make contact. So you see that? Makes contact. So you have two areas of contact, and you can see underneath we have a copper connect there that goes right to the battery and a copper connect there that goes right to the battery. Plain and simple, not bad at all. And if you put the door back on, there's the door. It says GI Mods Philippines. And then obviously the hole is where you put the screw. So if we look at the side firing button, you can see that it's recessed into the mod itself, okay? And if we turn this, you can see here, this one is not recessed. This one's floating up a little bit. Now, the reason why that could be is simply because maybe I just have to go in there and tighten up the connection. I actually like how the button is sitting a little higher rather than being completely flush, okay? And up top, you can see we have Delrin insulating the lower part of the building deck simply because it takes the negative portion of the mechanical mod to fire. So they let it rest on Delrin. So, this way you're not making the negative contact of your building deck connect with the negative portion of the body of the mod. So this way you're not auto firing as soon as you put your RDA on there. And it is held in by 4 flathead screws. Okay, so there's flathead screws there, flathead screws there. And you have little juice channels for to travel juice down on your hands when you over drip like me all the time. As far as the lower portion, if you wanted to see the battery doors, you can see the battery doors are vented and they do have that flathead mark right there for you to stick a screwdriver in there, a flathead screwdriver, so you can turn the battery doors easier, okay? So you can turn them with the greatest of ease. And it is vented really well on the bottom as well as the top where the door is. So we've seen it up close and personal, okay? You've seen the internals. You've seen the markings on it, but if you want to see what it looks like as a whole, let me change focus real quick so you guys can see this, okay? All right. Basically, when I hold it in my hands, this is the design of it, okay? It is brass, so you can see that it is starting to patina. On one side, it does say Aventador with the logo, which I'm unsure that this logo is actually maybe an eagle with his mouth open, with a star in his mouth, or it's some sort of bird, a crane, or some shit. I have no fucking idea. But it says the Aventador on it. Pretty cool design. One thing I have to say, it is very fucking heavy. Okay, it is a heavy bastard. You can't buy this device thinking it's not a heavy bastard. I have number 58, and the serial number is engraved deeply. It's a deep engraving. But the device is really fucking heavy. But aside from the weight, I mean, the weight is the negative factor on this. I mean, it's probably the heaviest brass mod I've ever held. Okay? But it's small. It's not as big. It seems like it would be big, but it's really not that big. It's kind of small. And it's comfortable. You can vape by firing on the top, or you can vape from firing on the side. And I'm usually switching it up. Sometimes I'll fire with my thumb, or sometimes I'll fire with my index finger. So it is pretty nice. As far as weight-wise, that's the only negative, is the weight. Okay? The positives of this thing, it does fire very fucking hard. For a dual 18650 in parallel, it fires very, very hard. Does not get hot. I do not get a hot button whatsoever. So it's a great firing device. The contacts are fully coppered and the internals are fully coppered. Now, I've had this device for well over a month, and the copper on the bottom has not patinaed. So I don't know if they were treated. I don't know if the copper was treated at all, but I'm guessing that it is, because the contacts have not patinaed. I have no arcing marks. There's no arc type of marks or burn marks anywhere on the contacts or on the internals either. So I'm very satisfied. I'm very fucking happy with this device. Like I said, the only negative drawback is the weight. But aside from that, it hits like a motherfucker. Hits harder than anything I've pretty much ever owned. And I don't have like an insane build in here. As far as like the build goes, let's just see where I'm at. Okay. Because, you know, sometimes when you do builds, you forget where you're at. I'm at a 0.03. All right, so that's pretty low, okay? Is this device worth the money? Sure it is. It's a great device. It handles anything you throw at it. Dual 18650 in parallel, solid CNC brass mechanical mod. It's got all copper internals, copper connects on the negative, easy removable negative battery doors where you just basically stick a flathead screwdriver in there and spin it. Or if your fingers are small enough to fit in there, you could turn it with the greatest of ease. You could tighten it up nice and tight. The device works. It is rock solid. Okay, you've seen me put a really low build on it. I get no hot button, no issues, and I like the way the internals are, okay? So as far as my preference goes, I like this device. Will you like this device? I don't know, because the weight of it is very heavy. So the weight of it is a drawback. That is a negative, okay? Because it's so heavy, if you plan on walking around with this thing all day, understand it's going to be heavy, okay? But other than the weight, does it work and does it do what it's supposed to do? Yes. Does it auto fire? No. Does it have a Delrin plate by the 510? Yes. Okay. So there are precautions that weren't met and needed to take, and they took those precautions by including that Delrin plate at the 510 connection base. And that's it. That's all I can say, really. Other than that, do I recommend this? Yes, I do. If you have the money, you have the time, you have the patience, walking around with something so heavy, by all means, pick up this device. You'll feel safe with it. Other than that, I got nothing else to say, really. There's nothing really bad about the device, except for the fact that it's brass and it patinas on you. But if you don't mind patinas, I don't mind patinas either. I like a patina, so it is what it is. I like my mods shiny or I like them patina. That's it. Nothing more to say here, people, and that's about it. So from me to you two, peace out. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment down below if you disagree with me or the builds that I do. And just a note for anybody out there doing anything or attempting anything I'm doing, don't. And if you are, please exercise with the greatest caution and use high drain batteries. So from me to YouTube, peace out. Laters.